The US Army is currently sending troops and armor down a long road in Russia. The war has been going on for months and supplies are needed. The Russians have gained intelligence of this convoy and have set up an ambush on a hillside hidden behind shrubs to fire down at the Americans and destroy their convoy. Ayo, what's going on, gamers? It's your boy, Daily Tactics here, and today we are back with some more Men of War Assault Squad 2, the Cold War mod, baby. And today we have a crazy ambush up here. This thing is insane. So, we have multiple large Russian tanks up on this hillside, pointed downwards at a massive US troop and armor convoy, as well as a bunch of Russian soldiers up here as well to provide small arms fire, and some of these AA guns pointed downwards at the US to take out their Humvees as well as their lighter trucks and things like that. It should be an absolutely incredible battle. The US themselves has multiple Abrams, some Tusk Abrams in there, some Humvees, some armored assault vehicles, troop transports, just a crazy arsenal moving down this road. So, both sides kitted to the teeth. We'll just have to see who wins. Who do you think will win this battle? Comment down below. Either way, guys, let's get into this thing. Please be sure to hit that like button if you do enjoy this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Alrighty then, gamers, let's go in slow-mo for the start here and get a nice broad overview of the convoy here so we can see the Russian destruction. The Russians begin to fire at the convoy immediately here. Looks like they are pinning a number of tanks right off the rip, which is going to take them out of the action extremely early. US soldiers bailing out of these trucks. Of course, they want to do that ASAP on all of their vehicles that don't have guns on them, because if they do get hit by incoming fire from the Russian vehicles, then all of the troopers inside of those vehicles will go with the truck, and it's just going to be an absolute slaughter, an absolute disaster there. In fact, I would not even be utilizing these Humvees as cover. That is just not a smart idea in the slightest. Lots of the Russian fire has impacted some of these vehicles, taking them out quite nicely, but a large number of US vehicles are still alive and firing as well. Looks like snipers are doing a good job of taking out the Humvee troopers up top and managing to kill them. However, more are just taking their place when one does end up dying. This Humvee has to clear out its soldiers. I'm guessing that it must have been critically damaged at some point there, resulting in them bailing out. Here we have up top here, Russian tanks still alive and still firing out. It looks like this just got popped here. Oh no, it just got lightly damaged actually. So this AA gun still managing to fire out, which is absolutely insane how much fire that thing is able to put out in a single second. Tons of incoming fire though from the US troopers, causing multiple Russian soldiers to go down, as well as a lot of their cover to go down from this incoming fire as well. Just a really devastating performance from both sides of the battlefield here. This tank right now still alive, still firing out, but troopers nearby getting gunned down by incoming US fire right there. Lots of these troopers seem to be silent. I wonder if the angle is too steep for them to fire down or something along those lines. Not totally sure what's going on with that, but either way, it looks like a bunch of US soldiers are going to be moving up this field over this way and leading the assault forward, which could mean that with all of these troopers going on just one side of the battlefield, that this side of the battlefield for the Russians will end up capitulating rather early, and then they can go ahead and flank in on the other sides that the Russians hold. That would be pretty devastating in and of itself. Wow, this thing is still going. It seems like it's been heavily damaged. I mean, it is smoking on the interior, but the main gun yet to be damaged completely, and it seems really obsessed in firing at that one Abrams over there. There are multiple other Abrams coming up this way that it could be firing at, but it chooses not to. So don't know entirely what that thing's doing, but it is what it is, dude. Some Russian light arms fire going off right over this way as some more of these troop transports come forward. They've got themselves 50 cals up top, which have a really nice line of sight. They're so high up that they can fire out really decently, and US soldiers supporting them. That AA gun does turn its fire over this way, firing at that Abrams right there, as well as a number of tanks back here too, and hitting some of these trucks as well. I would go after the trucks if I was that AA gun, you know? It can easily kill these trucks in a few shots, but killing a tank with that thing, that's gonna be extra difficult, to say the very least. Or go after the infantry, you know? We do have multiple US, I think these are actually Navy SEALs. I think by that emblem, isn't that the Navy SEAL emblem? I didn't realize I put Navy SEALs on the field, but I guess the Navy is involved. This is not the US Army. But they're moving on up. Look at this machine gunner all the way up at the very top here with a heavy machine gun firing out. This tank, is it dead? No, it's still alive. If he had an anti-tank grenade, I'm assuming he doesn't. He could easily kill that tank right there, but hopefully some of the troopers coming up with him behind will have some of those to fire out. We've got a bazooka trooper up here, but he gets taken out before he can fire anything. Some incoming HE shots from the US impacting the dirt, doing just about nothing. Another shot back here does explode this tank, taking it out of the action. All the crew inside most likely dead from that devastating shot. How are these lines doing over here? It seems like these US tanks are just kind of using their machine guns to fire out for the most part, not really coming up too much, and the Russians are taking some incoming fire from that and not really dying, but most of the heated part of this battle over here seems to be, you know, the majority of the battle overall. So why don't we go ahead and pump it up a speed here. Oh, we do have those little scopes. Those are normally reserved for when a sniper is actually aiming. However, there are anti-tank guns that also have to do that scope in process. So you might be seeing that scope a few times in this battle. It could mean snipers or it could mean anti-tank guns. Massive explosions ripping through Russian lines over this way, as some of their back vehicles managed to start firing out as well. In fact, this Abrams completely on fire. Holy cow. That thing got popped like nobody's business. Oh, it's still moving. How are you still moving? What? Alright, in this mod, I do not understand what actually means a tank is dead or not. I genuinely don't know, because in normal Men of War Assault Squad 2, and heck, even in like the Ravs mod or the Star Wars mod, once a vehicle like explodes in flames like that, it typically means it's dead. But apparently not here. I don't know what that means. Multiple Russian soldiers back here getting gunned down by incoming US fire, but there's still a bundle more left alive. Here comes one of those trucks coming up over on the right side over here. That man gets inflamed by some sort of high explosive shots or something like that. Truck in the distance does end up going down through the work of another one of those AA guns back here. They've also, of course, got this tank here and another one of those AA guns back here as well. I'm going to go ahead and just bump it up to full speed here and allow this thing to play out. Multiple more Abrams shots connecting with some of these Russian tanks up top here. But these things just have such good cover. Just straight up tons of earth, literal tons of earth in front of them, make it almost impossible to pin the middle. So all they can hope to do is damage the turret, and you can see the turret is damaged right there, meaning it won't fire anymore. Oh, it's on fire a little bit. Maybe they are getting some good shots in there. Those are definitely those flaming rounds that they're using. So, you know, maybe they will be able to take that out. Russian soldiers pushing, or sorry, US soldiers pushing through the Russian lines here, but they're under some pretty heavy fire from both Russian infantrymen as well as machine gun fire from tanks and other vehicles. So these US troopers are having a real hard time actually moving too far forward in this battle. We can see some of those Russian soldiers firing into the US as they come up and over the hillside here. And there we go, some of those AA rounds getting fired over here. AA Ron doing his magic right now. And the US just getting absolutely devastated by that. I think it's safe to say that this Russian tank did end up getting taken out fully. And maybe even this one in the middle has at this point. I'm not totally sure. We could check it out. It is not dead fully, however, its main gun is damaged, which, you know, typically means it can't fire. Oh, this one is also not dead fully, but again, damaged to the point where it won't be able to really be effective at all in the battle going forward. Same goes for these US tanks over here, although this one still can fire its main gun, though it has been tracked. Can it fire its main gun? Oh, you know what? It's out of rounds. Holy cow, okay. So that's something. This one's still got some rounds. Wow, this one's got like 1 billion rounds. How many shots did this one fire to have 0 rounds left? Oh, you know what? This is the one that caught fire. So I bet that this entire thing was its armory catching fire inside the tank, and it destroyed all its rounds. That's crazy. Oh, that's really, really cool. Holy cow. 1 second. I just have to pause for a sec. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. We are back. Basically, I was selling off a lot of my Pokemon cards on eBay to raise some funds for a down payment on a house in the later part of 2022, which I'm very excited about. But I sold off like a massive binder of some of my best cards, and a lot of them were very, very damaged. And I made it very, very clear that a whole lot of these cards were extremely damaged. Showed pictures of all the damaged cards, etc., etc. And you know, just tried to be as blatantly honest as possible. I didn't want to scam anybody. And the cards get to the person who paid $1,300 for these cards. Again, they were some of my best cards. They were just very, very damaged. And they immediately request a return stating the cards were damaged. Bro, in the item description, in the photos, I said these were extremely damaged cards. And I call up eBay. Well, rather, eBay calls me. That's why I paused right there. And eBay goes, oh, yeah, it looks like you did say all of that, but, you know, we have to side with the buyer always, so we're going to have to, you know, make you accept the return. And normally I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But here's the deal. The return, I paid $50 to ship it to them with extra insurance, with all, you know, the fastest shipping, etc., etc., since they bought so many cards. $50. $50 is what the shipping costs. And to return it is going to be another $50 that I pay for. So I'm out $100 because of this scumbag. I mean, come on. So, either way, I'm trying my best to get them to accept like a partial refund so I don't have to deal with a return or anything like that. And I'm not out $100, but I don't know if they're willing to work with me on that. They just seem like, you know, jerks. So, I am fairly frustrated by all of this. Alright, we've got multiple grenades going into this tank right here, causing some explosions upon it and things like that. Seems like that's probably not going to be enough to kill it. I mean, it's down in the terms that its main gun is not going to work anymore or anything like that. But these guys are still obsessed with trying to take it out. This tank up here seems very much so still alive. This vehicle as well here, this vehicle here, as well as a bunch of Russian infantry in the back. The front here has been basically completely wiped out by the US forces here, but they're just struggling, first of all, to deal with these half-dead tanks. And also pushing up over that hill. Let's actually check on some of the US tanks. So, this one's dead. This vehicle is broken. This vehicle's broken. This vehicle is broken. These vehicles are all alive. However, the problem with these guys is that they can't attack. So we'll just go ahead and duck out the drivers of those bad boys. This vehicle is fully functional. I don't see why that's not moving up the hill. We'll go ahead and do that. This can also move up the hill. Oh, I think they're all trapped in here because of that. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's engine damage, so it cannot move. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's dead. And this one's dead. So most of the US vehicles at this point in time completely destroyed, completely damaged, beyond repair. It's kind of up to the US infantry now. You have to remember, at the very beginning of this battle, the US infantry, they were, you know, not heavily outnumbered. They heavily outnumbered the Russians. in terms of both infantry as well as tanks. I mean, you saw that massive convoy we had down there. But that's the beauty of a hilltop ambush position, is that it is just dang near impossible to break through. It is a very, very difficult position to actually make any progress past. But I think the Russians have managed to sort of defeat the US here. The US really isn't making much progress at this point, and those grenade launchers certainly cannot destroy those vehicles. That's all they're trying right now. If you look at the mini-map at the top left, blue are US soldiers, red are Russian soldiers, and the US is probably down and out at this point. They really don't have that many soldiers left. They've got like one squad's worth here, and we'll squad them up. We've got another squad's worth here, we'll squad them up, and another squad's worth right here. There goes that Humvee, by the way. And then all these vehicles here, we could just bail out the troopers because they're damaged beyond combat readiness. So what's the point? And why don't we just go ahead and get all the remaining US soldiers to the top of the hill so that they can fight in combat against these Russians. And maybe have a bit of a fighting chance at taking them out. So we got maybe like 2 or 3 squads full worth of US soldiers coming in here. They're moving in right now. They do have a few of these AT rifles and things like that that they could utilize against the Russian forces. Oh, a couple getting mowed down over this way. That's a bit of a rough surprise for them. Here comes an AT rifleman, but he gets gunned down before he can make it into the trench system right there. US soldiers way down this way. Oh, firing off a rocket, misses. Again, another vehicle that's just so damaged it's not gonna be able to do anything in this battle anyway. Grenade launchers getting, yeah, again, launched at those Russian vehicles. Hey! They did take out one of the Russian vehicles back there. I wonder, oh, it might have been this guy who did that? I'm not fully sure. But again, they just want to grenade launch these already dead vehicles. All right, fine. We're gonna delete the already dead vehicles just so they stop focusing in on them. There you go, and now the US is gonna be forced to actually combat the real Russian menace here, which is up yonder. Also, a couple of Russian soldiers still hanging out in this little radio op bunker right there. I think they just nailed one of the troopers in the head, but the other's still alive. And it kind of goes quiet again. Why don't we go ahead and fast forward here so we can just sort of see what happens. Yo! A US tank tries pushing forward. Holy cow. Wow. Woo! That was quite a bit. That was quite a bit right there. Yeah, US is pretty much kaputs at this point. I'm surprised this thing managed to move forward. I didn't think it had it in it. But it did. Now it's tracked and main gun damaged. Alright, why don't we move the last of the US infantry forward and see what ends up happening here. So they're pushing on forward, and they're pretty much getting slaughtered. Yeah, this was a Russian victory about 3 minutes ago, but still a very, very fun video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Either way, guys, I will see you all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.